Jason, first question.
Okay.
Matt Jackson on Facebook. Matt wants to know, who was the first person you called after you won the PGA Championship?
It was Matt. It was my mum, but it was, I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So, but she's back in Australia, so it was obviously daytime there. She had a bunch of interviews to do and all that stuff. But it was my mum because I mean, after a lot of people don't know this, but after you win a major championship, usually they have you stick around, do a toast and all that stuff as well with the with the PGA and the executives and everything like that. But and then interviews after that. So it took forever. We were around there for like 2 to 3 hours after all the presentations were done as well. So it was very exhausting. But the first person that I called was my mom.
Okay. Kaylee13 on Twitter wants to know, was the Wanamaker Trophy heavier than you expected?
Oh, I mean, it was, Kaylee was very, very heavy. The heaviest trophy I've ever picked up. And to be able to hold it was pretty special. So, I mean, a lot of people saw that it was very emotional for me. But I've been working on my biceps for a while now, and I feel like I could handle it.
Lance Squire on Twitter. Which of the 3 remaining majors do you want to win the most?
Okay, Lance, I think I want to win Augusta, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. But I mean, I'd take any right now. But I think the biggest thing for me is to really kind of try and get that, the ultimate goal of winning, the 4 major championships. I think that would be pretty neat. But I think everyone knows that I've always wanted to be, I've always wanted to win at Augusta. I want to win the Masters, and that's always been a very special place in my heart there.
Okay. Sam Hammock and Z Robinson, 19 on Instagram. They're both, one is 13, one is 15. And what they want to know is, what were you shooting at those ages, and what advice do you have for them?
Okay. At 13, I was playing off a scratch handicap, so right around 72, because at the time the handicapping system was a little bit different in Australia. And then 15, I was in the 60s at least. I think I was averaging around 69, just because I was playing. I think I was at 15. I was off +4. So, but yeah, that's kind of the what I was shooting then. So, but I mean, a lot of it came from because I worked very, very hard. When I was 13, it wasn't until I was 14 or 14 and a half when I read the book about Tiger Woods, which really inspired me to get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and practice so hard. So don't ever see how those guys are shooting. I mean, obviously, yes, it's motivating to see how, at my age I was shooting those scores, but it was motivating for me to see what Tiger was shooting as well. But some people develop later. So as long as you keep working hard and doing the right things and trying to get better each and every day, you never know how far you will take yourself.
Steve Crouchy on Twitter, he wants to know, who are your closest friends on tour?
Ooh, Steve, that's a tough one. I mean, all the Aussie blokes that I hang out with, I mean, they're all good mates. I mean, it's always good to hang out with a bunch of Aussie blokes. But Nick Watney is a good friend of mine. Tiger, I always catch up with him. But I mean, if I was hanging out with, who I hang out with the most is probably, before we had kids, was Nick Watney. We hung out a lot and we enjoyed our times together. So now we have kids. I mean, that family takes over and you just don't have any time anymore to spend with your mates out there. But it's always fun to hang out with buddies.
Mm-hmm. Now, several fans, they wanted to know, what goes through your mind when you close your eyes during your pre-shot routine?
I wonder what they think. Not a lot. I mean, it's really basic and simple. Like when I close my eyes, I'm just thinking, like I'm standing behind the tee ball, but I think there's me standing there swinging the golf club, and I see my swing go up and then down, and I see the ball come off, and whether it's a draw, it draws. Whether it's a fade, it fades, and then I see it land and bounce, and I really don't hit the shot or go in to hit the shot until I see that visual perfectly, just because I know that it's going to put me in a better frame of mind when I walk into that shot and be a lot more confident with myself.
Okay. Bob Early on Facebook has a question that many past champions of the PGA Championship also have. Any idea what you're going to serve at the Champions Dinner at Baltusrol?
Ooh, it's probably going to be a steak and veggies or something like that, just because Aussies like barbecuing out. So and we tend to throw a lot of steaks on the barbie. So it'll most likely be a steak and some veggies with some sort of mashed potatoes or something, because I absolutely love mashed potatoes.
Crossfire 752 on Instagram wants to know, other than golf, what is your favorite sport to watch?
Oh, there's so many. It just depends on what. I'm so pumped for the NFL to start up. Pro football. I'm excited to see how the Bucks are going to go this year. The Buckeyes are going to go this year, because we do have a pretty good team leading up. And then obviously with all the trades that we've had, and the guys that we picked up for the Blue Jackets as well, in the NHL, it's going to be a pretty good year for us locally. And then obviously on top of it, the Cavs. I mean, it's good to see the Cavs doing so well. I think after what we had last year, with a bit of the heartbreak, in the finals, I think those guys are going to come back stronger and play a lot better. But I like all sports, but it just depends on what. I mean, when I'm in the off season, I like to sit on the couch and watch NFL Red Zone. That's what I love to do.
Shasta Robert on Twitter, he wants to know, how many hours a day do you practice?
Right now, if I was going to practice a full day, I would go in the morning and I'd practice my putting for an hour and a half, practice my chipping bunkers and rough for an hour, so we're up to 2.5 hours. Then I'd practice my wedges for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then what's that at 3-4 hours, and then I'd practice my my irons and driving for another hour and a half. So anywhere between 5 and 6 hours a day. But then I come back and I go to the gym for at least an hour and a half as well. So it can get up there between, with everything that I'm doing, anywhere between 5 to 7.5 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ryan tweeted on Twitter, what is your favorite TV show?
Ooh, that's a good one. There's so many out right now, but I mean, Blacklist is always a good one. I've been watching The Last Ship, which I think is good. I got into, what was it? I got into a bunch of shows. The Walking Dead. I got into that big time. Breaking Bad I got into big time. But right now, currently, I'm watching The Last Ship. So that's pretty cool.
Chase Strickland on Facebook wants to know, how do you sleep the night before the final round, and how do you turn on and off the adrenaline?
Oh, that's a good one. I think, but early in my career, I slept terrible. Would always think about what I'd be saying at presentations. I'd always be sitting there thinking about what I'm going to do on certain holes that are very tough, what certain holes that are very easy. I mean, every certain scenario that you can possibly go through, you go through. And as time went on, as I would get more and more into contention, it got easier for me. But the adrenaline, that's something that you learn kind of over time. The more times you put yourself there, the easier it gets. And I mean, there's certain things like breathing can help you, kind of slowing yourself down, walking slower. All these small little techniques can definitely help you in the long run. But the biggest thing is to really kind of, just experience it, go through and have a good time, enjoy the moment, because you may only get it once a year or you may get it 10 times a year. But when you do, just enjoy it and don't run away from it. Enjoy that challenge, because it is tough. I know it's hard to win, but you got to enjoy yourself out there. And I think if you enjoy yourself, it'll come a lot easier to you.
W. Snell on Instagram wants to know, what is your oldest go-to iron in your bag besides your putter?
Oldest go-to iron? I mean, it's hard to say, because it changes so much. Because usually, if I'm hitting my one iron, fantastic, then I'll go with my one iron. I'm hitting my 2-iron, fantastic. I'll hit my 2-iron. But then I used to always, when I was a kid, I used to always practice it with a 6-iron because I used to love putting that wear mark in the middle of my 6-iron. So, it's probably a mid-iron is my oldest go-to, but I change clubs every year too, so they're not very old. They're pretty new, but probably mid-iron is the one that I would go to.
Okay. Aiden Woost 10 on Instagram wants to know what is your favorite food?
Right now it's not a favorite food. I just know that because I have to eat the bloody thing. It's chicken and broccoli because I have to make sure that I stay healthy. But if I was cheating, actually after the win at the PGA, I had my first soda for the year. So I had 2 sodas, but that's a drink that I would drink. And then if the food that I would eat, it'd have to be, it would be like a pizza, something anything under the sun, pizza, burgers, anything bad for you, I'm all for it. Ice cream, all that stuff. I mean, I'm a normal person behind it. I know that I just have to put a lot of dedication into making sure that I stay on top of my body. But when I do have a cheat meal, I mean, it's terrible. It's out the door, or whatever you could possibly get in my mouth, I'm getting in there.
Tim Stagram on Instagram wants to know, when was the last time you paid for golf balls?
I don't mean to laugh, but it's been a while. I think 14 years old was when. Actually, no, it wasn't even 14 because I mean, what I would do is I'd win the Wednesday comp or the Saturday comp, and then you get credit for the pro shop. It'd have to be a little bit younger than that, 10 or 11, because what I would do is before my time, when I was 10 or 11, I used to go to these local tournaments, and I would go to Kmart. I think it was Kmart or Big W at the time down in Australia, and we used to buy these B51 balls, and you'd get them 24 for $24, and they were my go-to tournament ball back in the day.
J Mullen 07 on Twitter wants to know, what is your favorite course in Columbus, Ohio?
Ooh, that's a good one. Of all the places, I practice at Muirfield. I'm a member. I play at a private golf club called Double Eagle, which is a private golf course and very secluded place. But I've played everywhere, man. I played Pinnacle. I've played Scioto. I played this country course called Derby Creek, and I think I shot 9 under out there with a buddy of mine. So, I mean, anywhere that I can get onto and play, because I really I'm like a little bit of a gypsy when it comes to playing. I'll go around and play anywhere if my buddies want to play. But I had a lot of fun at Pinnacle. I think Pinnacle's a very tough golf course, a very tough backside. But, I mean, if I want privacy, I come out to Double Eagle. It's a great golf course to be a part of, but I mean, there's just so many in Central Ohio, all the way across Ohio itself. But if I had to choose anywhere I could possibly have, is just as long as I spend it with my buddies and just have a good time.
Teresa Wernan on Facebook wants to know, what course haven't you played but want to?
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. I think I heard Banner Dunes is good. I've never played Pine Valley. I've never played Shinnecock. I think all those golf courses up there, I think would be fantastic to play. But I'm trying to think right now. There's a golf course in New Zealand, Corey Cliffs, that I would love to go and play as well. I think that would be neat. But yeah, all those golf courses. I mean, there's only a certain amount of golf courses that that are so picturesque and pretty that as a golfer, as a golf professional, because we get to play the best places in the world. I get there and go, wow, I want to come back and play. So I haven't played any of those, so any of those would be great.
Okay. Sam Ann on Facebook wants to know, What was your first move to get Ellie to talk to you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I had so much game back then. Well, the hard thing is that she was a waiter, and she had to talk to me, so it wasn't very much of a move. It was just like, oh, can I have some steak and veggies, I think it was. But it wasn't much of a move, but I think everyone knows the story how I stole the number out of my coach's, coach caddy Colin phone and ended up talking to her that way. So, yeah, she was, as soon as she found that out and we started talking, she knew I was a keeper.
Will you buy a new camper with your winnings?
We just recently upgraded, actually, right before when was it? It was about a month or so ago. So we upgraded. We got another one on the way. So we need bunk beds. So we got bunk beds, and it's a bit of an upgrade. So we're still in the bus.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite thing to do in Australia?
Oh, relax, see my mates. That's an easy one. Hang out with my mates back home and just relax. What we used to do a lot growing up is we used to go to my mate's place, Ricka, and we'd all kind of end up at his place in the afternoon, and we just drink beers all day. And that's probably the best thing my favorite thing, is just to really catch up with mates and just sit around and drink beers all day.
Okay. 3 golfers. Who are the 3 golfers to complete your dream foursome?
That's a good one. Colin is always the first. Tiger is the second, because obviously he's been my idol ever since I was a kid. And then I would like to, have my dad. I'd like to have my dad with me just for that one round or that one moment, even if it's just a minute. It'd be good to have him just to play, or see me at this time, because I know he'd be very proud.
Who is your favorite American male and female athlete?
Ooh, okay, that's a good question. Ronda Rousey is definitely by far my favorite female, because she's just, I think there's right now on this planet, there's no one that can contend against her. But she's just so strong and so powerful, and she's very dedicated to winning. But there's so many males out there that, bloody hell. I couldn't tell you the other guy. It's for me personally, it was easy to pick a woman, but for a man, I'm just trying to think. Sport-wise, oh man, I'm drawing a blank here, so I'll have to think about it and come back to it randomly in this little thing that we got going on.
Okay. What sports does Dash play?
Oh, that's a good one. Dash, he plays golf, obviously, but the biggest thing he's into right now is Marvel, which is not a sport, but he loves to be Hulk, and he likes to fight a lot. So maybe he'll be a fighter or something like that, or be in a sport where he hits people because he likes hitting. Yeah, so right now he's into throwing, whether it's a football or baseball. He's into golf, and he's into fighting. So they're the kind of main things that he likes to do.
Mm-hmm. Where did Dash's name come from?
It's not very special. A lot of people think it comes from the movie Dash. And, real quick, we were thinking about naming, if it was a boy that's coming next, we were thinking about naming him Flynn, but we're not totally sure on it. But we'd have Dash from The Incredibles and Flynn Rider from bloody that other Disney movie. So we're starting to go with the Disney theme here. But Dash, we're struggling on a boy's name. So one day I just said Dash. What about Dash? And Dash Day. That kind of stuck, and that's kind of how it came along. We didn't have a boy's name. I said it one day, and then it kind of stuck with us.
Okay. Are you a Buckeye fan?
Yes, I am a very big Buckeyes fan. It's slowly getting there. If you live in Columbus, Ohio, you'd understand that you have to be a Buckeyes fan. and knowing Coach Urban Meyer, who plays out at Muirfield as well, knowing him for a couple of years is definitely helps that, and it's a religion here. You gotta love the Buckeyes.
College football or NFL?
Oh, this is so hard because the passion that's in college football. I mean, these kids don't get paid, so they all they want to do is win. And then, not saying that the guys in the NFL don't want to win, but it's the best of the best in the NFL. So, if I had to choose, NFL first, college football second.
Okay. Dog or cat?
Dog by far. I mean, nothing against cats, but I mean, I just grew up with dogs and just love having a dog.
Mm-hmm. From the Friends of Brian Gaffney on Facebook, he's a gentleman who's a low club pro. What was it like sharing a stage with Brian?
I mean, it's always something that I've lived up to. I wanted to live up to be able to even set foot on the same putting green as Brian Gaffney has been pretty special. I mean, the guy's all those myths that you hear about Brian Gaffney are all true. I mean, he's 10 foot tall and 350 pounds, chiseled, and hits it a mile. So it's pretty cool to stand on the same putting green as Brian Gaffney.
What would be your walk-up song to the first tee?
See, my mood changes every day, and it goes from. It depends on how I feel, but it can go from anything towards Billy Squier and the Strokes to house and EDM to rap and R&B and hip hop, and right now I'm listening to John Newman, "Come and Get It," and I think that's a pretty good little song there, and that's what I'm listening to right now. So,
last question. Okay. Show us what's inside the Wanamaker, and feel free to pick it up.
Okay, right now?
Right now.
Oh, my bloody microphone's on. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my microphone. Let me see here. I don't know if I can take the bloody thing off. Oh, here we go. You wait till you see what's in this. It's pretty cool. Absolutely nothing. There is nothing. I haven't drunk out of it yet either, so if you guys have any suggestions, tweet at me, and I could make that true. But yes, I was just saying earlier that winning this trophy, just the amount of respect that I have for this trophy and the names on it, I didn't want to drink out of it because I just have so much respect for it. But if you guys have any suggestions, just tweet at me and give me a shout out, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks, guys.
Is there any other message you want to give the fans?
No, I do actually. I just want to thank everyone because this has felt like it's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of hard work. I mean, everyone kind of saw how much emotion came out of me on the last hole, just because of the journey that I've been on. But to be able to have the people that are watching now and watch me on Sunday, to be able to share that with them and really kind of be a role model in a way to help people understand that it's okay to go through some hard times and really pick yourself up and work hard and be able to win something like this. It's okay to win something like this, even if you're in a bad position. It's pretty special. I'm glad that everyone that's watching right now got to experience that with me, and I'm hoping not only for just one, I'm hoping for many more to come, and I'm hoping they can be there with me sharing that experience. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon.